International Criminal Courts and Amnesty International worried by human rights violation by Nigerian Army and others under President Muhammadu Buhari government. Using security operatives, the Buhari-led government is also known for harassing, assaulting, and intimidating journalists, human rights activists, protesters, and critics of the government. Fresh facts have emerged on how human rights violations have continued to strive under President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, despite concerns raised by stakeholders. Using security operatives, the Buhari-led government is also known for harassing, assaulting, and intimidating journalists, human rights activists, protesters, and critics of its government. The government has also shown hostility to Nigerian judges and indifference to court judgment and others, thereby seriously undermining their standing and authority and the notion of access to justice. His administration simply ignores court judgments and orders. Buhari has literally normalized disobedience to court orders and state-sanctioned brutality against peaceful protesters. The administration also continues to violate human rights with impunity. Sources in the known of the concerns raised by stakeholders confided in this media that the Nigerian military and police are capable in the regard, especially in the prosecution of the war against insurgency and other separationist agitations in the country. In its 2020 report, Amnesty International noted that under the Buhari's administration, Nigerian security forces committed grave human rights violations, including torture and other ill treatment and the use of excessive force, which resulted on some occasions in unlawful killings. All also stated that Nigerian authorities repressed human rights, including freedom of expression, peaceful assembly, and freedom of movement. The AR report highlighted the brutal crackdown on the pro-Biafran group, the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, and the Yoruba self-determination groups. The Lekki Toll Gate massacre of October 20, 2020 was another instance whereby Nigerian soldiers were unleashed on defenseless citizens with deadly effect. According to the source, who spoke on the condition of anonymity due to the sensitivity of the issue, human rights organizations such as Amnesty International have expressed concern to the International Criminal Court for non-action in the case of Nigeria, despite glaring evidence of human rights violation of the Nigerian military. Amnesty International has expressed disappointment that the ICC has not acted to bring perpetrators of human rights violations to book in Nigeria. The Nigerian military has been notorious. As we speak, the ICC is in receipt of countless human rights infractions committed in northeast Nigeria and other parts of the country. We know that the authorities in Nigeria have been shading some persons that aided human rights violations in various capacities. Some of these persons were appointed to cover the atrocities while in office. This is worrisome, trend, and an indictment on the Muhammadu Buhari administration as complicit in the whole episode. Another source stated that had the ICC acted, these individuals should be facing charges for crimes against humanity. The Nigerian Army tops the list of violators. In northeast Nigeria alone, several innocent people were killed brutally under cover of fighting Boko Haram insurgents. The same happened in the southeast, where hundreds of innocent people were killed without evidence linking them to any wrongdoing. The Nigerian Army, being at the forefront of the campaign, indeed committed several ignorable acts in Northeast, Southeast, and Southwest. They killed and buried people in mass graves. It was such a gory episode that reduced the value of human rights. The source further added that the Nigerian authorities seems to be nonchalant in addressing these human rights violations and instead saw them as acting in the country's best interest. How could one explain where the government that is supposed to protect the people is using brutal force to suppress the people? Hundreds have been killed and buried, and their families have been left in limbo. The perpetrators of these crimes have been celebrated. This is abnormal. The government is unconcerned about its human rights rating globally and has continued to frustrate the efforts of the ICC in bringing these violators to justice. The past 7 years in Nigeria have been hell for some families whose breadwinners have vanished without any trace. This is the starkness of the reality on the ground. There are also fears that prosecutors at the ICC are worried about the non-cooperation it has received from the Nigerian government in prosecuting persons capable in crimes against humanity. A source privy to the reservations expressed by the prosecutors at the ICC stated that the court is planning a new strategy to ensure that those capable are brought to justice. The emphasis is now on the new government, where such persons might likely not enjoy government immunity at the end of this administration. Analysts believe that such a posture by the administration has made the government very unpopular globally and unable to get any international support anywhere, he told Sahara reporters. I can tell you that the ICC is not relenting. Efforts are well underway to get those capable to book. It is true that the new government in Nigeria might be cooperative with the ICC in a bid to get credibility in the international community. We might see some high-profile persons within the military face charges for crimes against humanity soon. The new government might not want to carry the baggage of the Muhammad Buhari. This is general thinking, but again, our fingers are crossed. Okay, guys.